Yo, what's good, my peoples? It's your boy, Big Chris, aka the Countdown Animator, and I'm here to bring you another WWE SmackDown, NXT, TNA, and main event review. So, fix my camera, and before I get into anything, as I do, I have news and other things that came out throughout the week. So, since I haven't reviewed anything since Monday, there's a lot of things to talk about. First, I'd like to say one of my friends and one of the people who are watching my videos asked me what I thought about the Ninja Turtles movie. Quick review. It was very mediocre to me. It had good parts in it where the turtles themselves, I thought they were very good in the movie, or at least pretty good in the movie. They got the characters right. There wasn't enough character build up for the turtles, but I thought they were right. Everything else in the movie was a letdown. The action was okay, but it wasn't the action that I wanted to see. It wasn't some really fun martial art turtle action. If you watch the cartoon that's on TV right now, that has some really good, nicely done, nicely choreographed martial arts in it, ninjutsu being done in there, and that's done way better than in the movie where they have all the time to work on these choreographing the fight scenes. I thought April O'Neil, played by Megan Fox, was just horrible, and most of the other characters are horrible. The Shredder was horrible. Splinter was a very ugly design, and this is somebody who does design and animations for a regular in his lifetime, so I have a right to kind of say what looks like a horrible design and what doesn't work when you think of designs. Like I said, the turtles themselves were okay. Their look, I kind of got over it after a while, but I still wish they could have been better. So yeah, if I was to give it a grade review, I would give it a D. So let's get into some more news. WWE officially changed their logo. They put it on all the buildings and stuff like that. Vince McMahon tweeted pictures of the logo, now the network logo, on all the buildings and everything. So RIP to the scratch logo. The funniest thing though is putting up all the other stuff. They had a banner, one of the flags that had $9.99 on it, and I thought this was a joke at first, like somebody just threw a meme or something. But no, this is real. This is fucking real. Vince McMahon tweeted this on himself, so that got a giggle out of me, a chuckle out of me. Also, they brought back those little cartoon things that they've been doing, the Slam City stuff on for the network, and you all can also watch them on YouTube. I think they're okay, for a little couple minute thing to watch. My little homie, I was watching it with my little homie's son, and he likes them a lot. So, if you got kids watching with them, they're pretty chill. Also, there's a app game that came out for the WWE called Super Card, and it's basically a card fighting game. It's very kind of simple, but I thought it was pretty fun. You play against people. I guess you play against people online on the app, and you just basically match off. Okay, if they say this match is going to be strength and speed, okay, then which of your characters has the best strength and speed, and you match that off against the other people. You can add little things inside the match and stuff like that. And it's like about four matches in the whole thing. So I thought it was okay for what it was, and pick it up. It's something quick to play, and I was playing it for a little bit today. I may play it every now and then. Also, there was some other stuff that came out for 2K14. IGN has been dropping a gang of stuff. They showed off the Goldust character model, and they also had some leaked footage of the game. You can find it online, just 2K14 leaked footage from Gamescom, and showed it everything in action. So, it was very blurry, but you got to see some in-action stuff, and it looked really good. I compared it to last year's game, and even blurry, it looked very good. The character models are very done nicely. The animations are a lot better. So yeah, it looks pretty chill. And also there was some stuff. Wendy's, the food company, the fast food company. Somebody on Twitter must like the WWE because they were tweeting a gang of WWE things today. Just all kind of weird, funny shit. They did something with Heath Slater, something with Enzo Amore, and a couple other stuff. They even did something with Big E because they have the Big E fries and shakes. Somebody asked them about that, and they said, no, we're the only ones with Big E's and stuff like that. Some simple shit. So I thought that was pretty funny. Some other Twitter things. Supposedly, the Warrior's wife is pissed off at Hulk Hogan for some things he said in the interview. That was crazy. I hope Hogan shuts the fuck up and just, leaves that man dead. Let him rest in peace and leave his family alone. Don't really, somebody asks you something in the interview, just say, I don't want to talk about the Warrior or something like that. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say shit at all. And then he also did another interview with Yahoo where he said that somebody asked him about Steve Austin, saying he's one of the best legends of all time, or the best legend of all time, and Hogan said no, that's him. So basically, Yahoo interview with Hulk Hogan, because I think he's the ambassador for the SummerSlam, so he's going to be introducing the show and shit. Then also you had Alberto Del Rio, who we find out is going to the AAA wrestling organization, a Mexican wrestling organization, and he's going to be on a show this weekend. So I guess he's going to be voiding his contract, and he's going to be on a show this weekend with them. And I think he's going to be wrestling for a AAA. So yeah. And I think there was a whole bunch of talk going around about the whole racism and thing going on with him. You had Ricardo Rodriguez that tweeted something about Triple H calling him Bumblebee from like the Simpsons cartoon with the guy who dresses up like a bumblebee. He says that that's what Triple H used to call him all the time. He didn't really remember his name, just called him Bumblebee. So yeah, I mean, we've known WWE have some slight racism stuff. It is what it is. What can I say about it? I've already done enough talking about that. So, hopefully Del Rio and Rodriguez do good with their future. Also, the last thing, I think this is the last, I'm not sure, but Kevin Steen, ROH, one of the ROH better wrestlers and better just characters, has now joined WWE and is going to be on NXT shortly. So now you have Kevin Steen, Kenta, and Prince Devitt all on there, and it's just looking very up for WWE. I can't wait to see what these guys do. So congratulations, Kevin Steen, on getting into the company, or into that company. I'm not part of the company. Getting into the WWE. So yeah. Oh, also this. Okay, Triple H was doing the Ice Challenge or whatever this shit is called, and I was just wanted to say, I think these dumbass challenges are just so stupid. I mean, with the Fire Challenge, there was a soda one, and oh man, stop doing these, people. I guess this is for charity or some shit, but number one, it's a waste of water. He's doing it in L.A. We're having a drought in L.A., so it's a fucking waste of water. That's one thing, and I'm just like, oh, people, stop with these fucking challenges. Fire Challenge, Ice Challenge, just... oh, shit. Motherfuckers don't have nothing to do. So, let's get into my reviews. 7 minutes already in. This is going to be a long-ass fucking video. So, yeah, let's get into these reviews. Starting off with main event. You had the Usos who came out. They basically started comparing themselves to the older tag team, saying, they want to be the best tag team. Ryback and Rob Van Dam and Sheamus came out. Rob Van Dam and Sheamus said they wanted, to compete for the Usos tag team titles, which was on the line tonight. And Ryback said the same thing. Kane came out and set up a triple threat tag team match. And that's set up for later in the show. I thought that beginning segment was okay. Nothing too big from the Usos there. The promos from all three guys weren't really nothing crazy. I do like the Usos more than another team like the TNAs, the Wolves. I think the Usos have a lot more energy and charisma inside the ring. But when it comes to promos, the Usos really can't hold up themselves, especially when you equal out what they do in the ring. So next you get a match with Seth Rollins and Kofi Kingston, and I really thought this was a really fun match between both of these guys. Very fast paced, both of them, just a lot of high spots and stuff like that, and just doing exactly what they needed to do to make it a fun match. Kofi Kingston got a lot of good moves in here. He was most definitely drawing a lot of face heat here. The crowd was cheering for Kofi, chanting his name, and then you have vice versa. They were saying you sold out to Seth Rollins and booing him every chance they got. So a lot of good heat for both guys, and I think this match went very well for both of them. It ends up with Seth Rollins hitting the curb stomp onto Kofi and winning the match. I thought this was a very fun match and my highlight of main events. Next you get, and also I wanted to talk about this, I'm not sure what is going to happen with we'll just call it the New Nation Domination guys, Big E, Kofi, and Xavier. I just don't know what's going to happen. There were some tweets going on with Xavier Woods where he was just kind of just showing off the whole the whole group and stuff like that, saying he doesn't know anything about no new nation and shit. So hopefully they just holding it off until after SummerSlam. But the way it's looking right now, it's not looking good for that group. So I'm kind of sad to see it go. I thought they had some potential with especially turning Kofi and Big E heel here and pushing on with this whole little faction. But it looks like it's not going to happen. Another failed story for these guys. Another failed angle. So next you get your triple threat tag match with Rob Van Dam, Sheamus versus Ryback versus the Usos for the tag team titles, and it was interesting. It was interesting why something like this wasn't kept for like the pre-show of the SummerSlam card, and why they just put this on main event. I guess they wanted a match on main event, but as far as the match itself, it was very average. The Usos really didn't spend a lot of time wrestling here. It was most of the time between Sheamus and Van Dam and with Ryback. So just them going at it. I've seen all four of those guys wrestle each other before. The Usos end up winning after doing a behind the back tag in on to Curtis Axel, I believe, and doing a splash, and picks up the win off of Rob Van Dam, so pinning Rob Van Dam. So I thought the match was okay. It wasn't nothing really too crazy. I thought some stuff with the Ryback and the way they handled their characters, kind of like frat assholes. I thought that's very funny, but nothing other than that, it's nothing too big to this match. So next you get WWE NXT, and that happened on the 14th of March. 14th of August 2014. And it starts off with your number one contenders NXT Tag Team Tournament match, and this is going up into the rankings of that tag team tournament. I think this is the second round. No, still the first round going into the second. So you start off with the Vaudevillains versus Bull Dempsey and versus Bull Dempsey and Mojo Rawley. That's how much I don't like that guy. I can't fucking remember his name. But it was a very quick match. You basically set up some rivalry between Mojo and Bull, and you end up getting the Vaudevillains who win with the senton off the second rope. So I thought the match was okay for what it was. I just like seeing anytime Mojo gets beat up, and that's exactly what happened at the end of the match. Bull Dempsey gets pissed off of a blind tag that Mojo tagged himself in and lost the match, and ends up beating the shit out of Mojo, and after that hits him with the I think they call it the bulldozer, and picks up the win, but picks up the heat from it. So the crowd was actually cheering on Bull Dempsey for this. A lot of people hate Mojo Rawley, even though some of the crowd cheers him when he comes out. His character's nowhere near over, and hopefully they can find some way to get Bull heat. I don't know if it's from this match, but you can tell he's going to go on to the next special event. Next, you get a backstage promo from Bayley and Sasha Banks. Basically, just them, Sasha's going in Bayley's face saying that she's going to be the number one contender and Bayley can't touch her. So I thought it was an interesting backstage promo. I kind of wish there was a little bit more from Bayley there as far as, just her character stuff. But we did get it in their match, which was next, which is Sasha Banks versus Bayley. And I thought these girls had a very fun match here. Both of them worked very well in the ring. Bayley made sure to do her strikes and stuff like that. Sasha really worked a nice ground game. And both of them just a lot of back and forth, just, going at each other very well. And I thought that was very fun to see. Sasha ends up going towards the end of the match, hitting her, the backstabber. I think she calls it the bankroll or something like that. So she hits the backstabber into the crossface, and while she has Bayley in a crossface, Sasha kind of reaches it back a little too much, and Bayley basically flips her leg back and ends up taking her for the roll-up pin. So I thought that was very, very nice way to end the match, and it was very cool. And Bayley's your number one contender for the NXT Divas title. So I thought this was a very fun match between the girls. And once Bayley went upstage, she ends up, Charlotte ends up coming out and shaking Bayley's hand. So very fun match especially for a Divas match, and interested to see where they go with Bayley and Charlotte. Hopefully they can push a more heel role with Charlotte and get her to do some more stuff. Next, you get your final number one contenders match for the night for the tag team titles, and it was Lucha Lucha, which is Kalisto and Sin Cara versus this new tag team of Buddy Murphy and Wesley Blake. And this is basically a match for the Lucha Lucha guys to show their skills. I thought that they did a really good job in ring, especially Kalisto here. I thought he was very good in this match. You had Sin Cara who hit up some nice moves. He was very acrobatic and stuff like that. You had this one where Sin Cara does the what do you call it? That one arm power bomb, but you get Kalisto who does a drop kick to the guy. Then Sin Cara does the one arm power bomb, which I thought looked very nice. And you get Kalisto who does his finisher, which is that kind of float over DDT to where reverse DDT, and I thought that looked very good, and he landed it perfectly this time. And you get Sin Cara and Kalisto who advance inside the tournaments, and your bracket is now Enzo Amore and Cosmic versus the Vaudevillains for the next round, and Sami Zayn and Adam Rose versus Lucha Lucha for the round after that. So, for that same round as well. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen. I already know who's going to win this tournament, but I'm interested to see how they play this out and where they go from next down here. You also had the Legionnaires who weren't in the tournament and kind of displayed their disgrace with that and on a backstage promo, and said it's all because of Enzo and Cassidy, and that they kind of feel that they're comme say comme ça, which I guess is they're kind of calling them gay in a kind of Frenchy type way, which is kind of the same thing because they're pissed off about being called soft all the time. So I thought their promo was okay, just goofy little French guy shit. So interested to see what they do with the Legionnaires, and especially with Enzo and Cass. Next, you get your final, which is a title match with Neville versus Breeze for the NXT Championship. I was kind of surprised to see this match on this show. They didn't really build it up too much from last week's show. You did have that promo with Breeze, but he really didn't say, okay, next week I'm going to have my match, or I'm going to have my match very, very soon, and you'll be surprised when it is. Some shit like that, to where they can say, okay, next week my match is coming. So the match itself, I thought was very good. You had a lot of work through with Neville at the beginning. A lot of moves from him, just very quick, outsmarting Tyler Breeze. And then you get Tyson Kidd, who comes out and just sits at the announce table. And I like his little shirt he got on. He just it's a Mike Tyson sweater, but he zips it down to where it just says Tyson on it. I like that a lot. But you get back to the match, you get both of these guys who just go out there and really just a lot of nice little moves here and stuff like that. Breeze most definitely did a nice little ground game here. He started playing up more with those headlocks that he does to, draw more heat from the crowd. I like that he's continued doing that. And just, playing more of a ground game against a high flyer guy like Neville. The best part of this match is this tornado DDT off of the ropes that Tyler Breeze does onto Adrian Neville, and Adrian Neville sells this like a beast. He hits his head on the ground and pops back up on his feet and falls down. This was the best tornado DDT and the best selling of a DDT that I have ever seen. Adrian Neville's a fucking beast for the way he sold this. If you can watch this match, it's probably the match of the week for me. So yeah, it was a very good match. It all came down with Tyson Kidd, who came to the side of the barricade after both guys got onto the outside, and Neville just kicked him in the face, taking that as it kind of, you're going to interfere in the match, so I might as well handle it right now. And once they got back in the ring, Tyson Kidd interfered. They all started fighting. Kidd actually was fighting with Breeze. Then you get Sami Zayn, who comes out, breaks it all up, and helps out Adrian Neville at the end. So it looks like they're setting up more stuff between all these guys. It looks like it may end up being some type of four-way match between Zayn, Neville, Kidd, and Tyler. So I'm interested to see where they go with this stuff, and hopefully we can get some good stuff coming out of this. As far as NXT goes, I thought this was a very fun show, and as far as this show goes, I would give it a B, probably a B+. I thought it was very fun and it had some really chill matches on here, especially the women's match and this match, which was my favorite match of the week. So next you get TNA, which I finally watched again. I watched last week's show, which I think was I don't think it was Destination X, was it? No, it wasn't Destination. That was the week before. But I watched last week's show, and I thought it was a pretty good show last week. They played up a lot with the whole Dixie angle, and that was my main problem with last week's show. Is I'm not too much into seeing a woman get thrown to tables. I think I think my pictures are going towards that way. No, okay, yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute about the whole Dixie angle. But also, I found out that TNA is moving to Wednesday nights. That's some news right there. So I guess they're doing it in a kind of strike before they strike type of thing, that people are saying that WWE is going to move SmackDown to Thursday nights. So kind of them not saying, okay, we don't want to be on the same night as SmackDown. And also in the idea that, football is now going to be heavily played on Thursday nights. So another thing for them to say, okay, we need to get as many viewers as we can while we're still on Spike. So they moved into Wednesdays. Hopefully people could come and stop to watch it and realize that they're going to be on Wednesdays, because they didn't really play it up on the show. So yeah, you start off the show, you had Bully Ray and basically Team 3D, and you had the Hardys. You basically had them play up the whole thing with both teams, that they know each other. They've been through a lot of matches in the WWE, and now they're at TNA, and they want one more match between both them guys. They kind of agree to it. They reminisce basically about their WWE times, which is kind of what I didn't like about this, was that it played up so much to their history in the WWE, and it kind of felt like a non-TNA thing. It just felt like a thing for the crowd that was there to hype up over, and I was like, it's okay, but I don't know. I'm just when I watch TNA, I want to see some TNA shit, and a lot of this WWE, ECW shit, WCW stuff that they just parade on TNA, I'm kind of getting tired of that shit, just to tell you the truth. I mean, if I want to watch a Dudleys versus Hardys match, I can watch the good ones when they were in their prime on the network. So, that's what I really got to say about that. So, about the whole thing, they were playing up the Dixie, going through a table angle the whole night, showing it all night, and playing up, they're going to show what happened afterwards, which was basically showing her get stretchered out and Bully talking shit. Like I said, I wasn't really a big fan of this, and seeing her go through the table last week, I thought, especially with the recent incident with the MMA fighter War Machine. Sorry about that. With the MMA fighter War Machine and him beating up on his ex-girlfriend and stuff. I don't like to really see man on female violence. It was fun during the Attitude Era for what it was, but right now it just kind of seems something that's played out. So next you had your TNA, what would you call it? Number one contenders match. I think it was a six-man elimination match, elimination tag, some shit like that. It was a weird setup for it, but for the X Division title, it was basically a six-man elimination match for the X Division's title, and the main guys were Tigre Uno, Crazy Steve, DJ Ion. I haven't watched TNA in a while, so it's half hard for me to remember these names. Low Key, Homicide, and Manic. It was an okay match. I thought the X Division guys did very well here, but the match was hella short. I mean, very short. I think it only lasted 7 minutes, and it was basically guys just getting quick pins, a lot of high spots. It ended up with Low Key and Homicide at the end, and they basically fought each other a little bit. Then Low Key picks up a win here. I like Low Key selling of some moves. He sold like the Gringo Killer very well, as far as when Homicide was getting ready to do the Gringo Killer. He sold that very well, and then into his reversal of that move was very nice, and he ends up hitting his finisher for the win. And you got him that's going to face Samoa Joe next week, and they played up a whole promo with Samoa Joe from the beginning, saying that he's going to take the X Division to a new place it's never been. I really like this match as far as the guys go, but this match needed way more time. If you're going to have 6 guys in an elimination match, this is at least a 15 to 20 minute match that you can put on TV. They should have gave this match more time, and it just came out okay to me. Next, you get a segment with EC3, Spud, and Rhino. Kurt Angle comes out, and basically those Dixie Carter goons basically got in the ring and said they're not going to leave until they get some justice. Kurt Angle comes out, says some shit to them. They don't leave, so he calls the cops out, and they basically take them away with EC3 and all the other guys, Spud and Rhino yelling and screaming and stuff, and trying to bribe the cops. I thought this segment was okay here. I don't liked it if it wasn't another cop segment. I've seen like WWE did it twice, TNA does it again, and I've seen TNA earlier in a couple months ago do the same cop angle. This would have been a great way to push, some other guys that you have on a roster to kind of just come out and probably beat up on EC3 and stuff like that, or just have a push a match between EC3 and another crew, or another couple guys, that Kurt Angle say, okay, these are my guys, and I'm gonna have them come and get you guys. So yeah, I thought it was a wasted opportunity, but I did think EC3 and especially Spud did a good job here of, playing, just their characters against these cops. Next, you get your divas. Next, you get your knockouts match. I can't lie, these girls look like hookers, man. But you get your knockouts match, and another quick match. It lasted 4 minutes. A lot of just running around for the girls, doing a few moves. Gail Kim was the best thing about this match. She held it together. You had Velvet Sky and the other girl. I think Angela Love is her name. I don't really. You had them two arguing in the match. Terrence Harrell did a couple moves here, but it was basically Gail Kim who won the match with her Eat Defeat. And yeah, it was that for the title, Divas Knockouts title. And yeah, nothing too big out of this match. It's another match. If you're going to have these multi-person matches, you got to at least give them 10 minutes, at least 10 to 15 minutes. This whole 4-minute women's match thing just doesn't work, and this is where you can really differentiate yourself from the WWE, and they don't do it here. They do the same thing WWE does and give these girls only a little bit of time. So next you get Magnus and Bram, who come out with what's his name, Abyss. Basically, it's Abyss talking shit to Magnus and Bram, saying he's tired of the bullshit. He wants Janice back, which is this piece of wood with nails in it. I didn't like this segment at all. I thought, it was basically that. It was basically set up for another hardcore match, which is basically the damn Janice wood piece thing on a pole. On the hung from the ceiling, and you got to get a ladder to get up to it. Like I said, I thought this was pretty piss poor right here. I didn't like Magnus at all. The crowd didn't like it at all. You could tell they filtered out a lot of the crowd noise. I just wasn't getting into this at all. He kept trying to ask the crowd, do you want to go extreme? Abyss kept asking the crowd, do you want to get extreme? And I'm like, what the fuck did you have last week? Wasn't that an extreme match? So yeah, I really didn't like that at all. And I'm just not interested in this feud. It seems that they're just extreme matches for extreme match, and it's kind of desensitizing me to where I'm just really don't care. You also had a next match with Gunner versus I keep wanting to call him Kennedy, but Mr. Anderson. And the crowd wasn't into this match at all, and it was very quick. It ended with Samuel Shaw interrupting in the match, and I think Gunner wins by DQ or some shit like that. But another match that I did not care about, and really the story I don't care about. I've seen some of the stuff with Samuel Shaw and Anderson, and I didn't care about that story. I thought that was actually a pretty horrible story from a couple months back, but the crowd wasn't into this at all, and it really didn't lead to any type of good thing out of a match. They also had a segment with James Storms and Sonata where they're inside of a shed in the woods or something, and it was just crazy. They had a noose there, and they had Sonata tied up, and it was just very weird, and it felt like they were trying to play off the whole Wyatt thing, but it didn't work at all, and it looked like Storm was going to rape Sonata or something. I was just like, man, this is not y'all game, TNA. Like, in the ring always, good matches, and you'll be very good. Play up the X Division, play up the knockouts, and play up your good characters. Now, what happened next, I did like. You had a match with MLK, which I say that's my name for the guys. MVP Lashley and Kenny King versus Eric Young, Eric Young, what's the other dude's name? Austin Aries and Bobby Roode. I thought this was a pretty fun match here. You get Lashley's team who comes out with the win, and I thought they had a lot of good moves here and a lot of good spots there for everybody. And I thought this is where you need to be. Your champion needs to be the main event of the show, and you only get like 1 to 2 segments out of him. Barely 2 segments out of him, and it really doesn't play up to anything. So I thought this match was very fun, and I just wish there was more out of this stuff right here from them. And you also had the Wolves who cut a promo with one of them chewing gum, which I hate it when you're cutting promos. Don't fucking chew gum if you're talking on TV. But they cut a promo saying they want to face Team 3D, and that's what they're going to get next week. So after that, you had a match with the Hardys versus the Dudleys. It's a Hardy-Dudley match. I thought it was pretty okay. You had a lot of nice moves from them, but I really didn't care because, it wasn't their best match and it wasn't a great match. It was just an okay tag team match from guys that we've seen fight each other. So, people who want to see this will like it. For me, because, I wanted to see something with the TNA guys, something that was telling a story, something that's, for them. Not something that is just bringing some WWE ECW guys and having them fight on TNA. So, I just didn't care for it. That's just me. If you liked it, that's cool. But, it's just me. So, next and also for this show, I rated a C. I thought the show was okay. I thought last week was very good. I thought they had a really nice show that was like a B. I didn't review that show last week, so last week TNA show I give a B plus. I thought that was a very fun show, but this week, it's just a C. So next you get SmackDown, which kicked off with The Miz coming out, hyping himself up for the SummerSlam, talking about how he's in movies and shit, and SummerSlam's going to be in LA, so all his friends are just going to be there. And then you get Roman Reigns, who comes out in this Miz TV, and he's doing a whole promo thing with Roman Reigns, and he won't let Roman Reigns talk. He keeps asking him questions and won't let him talk. So Roman Reigns gets pissed off, gives him a really nice hit to the jaw. I mean, a very nice one. And then you get them have a stare down. I thought that was very well done. And you get Roman Reigns, who picks up the mic. He asked the crowd, did he like that? They're in Seattle, so he asked Seattle, did they like that? The crowd cheers for him. And he goes into this promo talking about Randy Orton. The promo is where he kind of fell for me, but hopefully he can get better at that. But, he really didn't say too much here, just hyping up his SummerSlam match. As far as the segment goes, I like the stuff with the Miz and him hitting the Miz. I like him kind of hyping the crowd up, but it kind of fell flat when he hits the promo part. Next, you get a very good match with Cesaro versus Dean Ambrose. Both of these guys in this match just did a very well job of going all around the ring. Just, gang of moves, gang of nice spots, a gang of good selling here. Just both of them just, having a lot of fun. You got "This is awesome" chants from the crowd and everything. It's just the moves that they were laying on each other felt like some ROH type shit. I thought this was a very fun match, and not the greatest match I've seen, but these guys really did a nice job, especially for a SmackDown match, and made it the highlight of the show here. You get Dean Ambrose, who gets the Dirty Deeds after a few kind of tie-ups between both guys, and he hits the Dirty Deeds out of nowhere and made it look very nice and picks up the win here. So hopefully they can find something to do with Cesaro soon, because the guy's too good just to be good match here and there. But I thought this was a fun match between both guys. And then you get Seth Rollins, who comes out and basically says, I'm going to win at SummerSlam, and you're just a lunatic, and the guys that you said they're going to be there are going to be against both of us type thing. So he kind of hypes himself up, hypes up the match, and nothing too big out of this promo from him, but I thought it was a very chill promo from Seth Rollins, really showing his character here. So yeah, the match was very fun, the promo was okay, and a very fun little segment right there. So next you get a match with Titus O'Neil versus Dolph Ziggler. You get Heath Slater, who beat Dolph Ziggler on Monday night on the outside, coaching on Titus. And basically a simple match between both guys, a few moves done to each other, and Dolph Ziggler basically hits a zigzag to pick up the win here. And then you get Heath Slater, who comes in the ring disappointed at Titus O'Neil, and they kind of argue. I thought the match itself was okay, nothing too big from it. I did kind of get a kick out of Heath Slater being pissed off at Titus O'Neil for losing. So a guy who usually loses all his matches, pissed off at another guy. So I thought that was pretty funny here. Next, you get a singles match between Mark Henry versus Luke Harper, and you got their vice versa tag team partners on the outside. The match was okay for a big man match. Both guys going at each other. You get Mark Henry, who comes to look like he's going to win the match, but Eric Rowan ends up kicking the back of Luke Harper to make both of them fall, and Luke Harper fall on top of Mark Henry, and you get the DQ finish with Mark Henry pick up the DQ win from that. Kane comes out and says it's going to be a tag team match, and you get basically all four guys going against each other, or both sets of tag teams going against each other. And I thought the match itself was okay here. Nothing too nothing too special from all these big guys, but it was an okay big man match, and you basically get everybody doing their thing. I did think a nice little spot here where Big Show basically gets ran over by Eric Rowan. I did like that a lot, and it ends with Big Show hitting the KO punch to Eric Rowan, and then Mark Henry hitting him with the World's Strongest Slam. So I like the finish here. The match was okay. After that, you get a Divas match, which is a rematch between AJ Lee and Eva Marie. This match, you get AJ and Eva who go at it for a little bit in the match. You get AJ who kind of tears out or even one of her extensions of her hair fall out or something. You get AJ who starts swinging her hair around and shit. I thought that was pretty funny, and the crowd got a little kick out of it too. But the match itself was really nothing. Eva tried to do a few moves, but she looked horrible doing that. I heard somebody do an interview with Eva where she said that she doesn't get time to practice her wrestling. She only gets what she get in the ring, which I very much don't believe that, because I've seen her practice. I've seen videos of her down at the what do you call it, the performance center, practicing and getting time to train. So she's not the only person to have to make big time travels and practice how to become a wrestler at the same time. So I think she can do better, and I think that's just a big excuse to me. Most definitely a big excuse. I work as an animator, and I had to work a regular job plus do class plus train myself to be what I wanted to do at the same time. So she can do it if anybody else can do it. She just not putting that much into her training. But the match goes down where Paige comes out and kind of causes a distraction. AJ gets out the ring, beats the shot of Paige, slamming her body and her head into the barricade. AJ gets counted out and traces after Eva, who wins another match against the Divas champion from a count out. And you get AJ Lee, who's pissed off and just staring at Eva. Paige comes in, hits her with a Paige Turner, and it first hits her with a super kick, then the Paige Turner, and you get Paige staring down AJ Lee. So hopefully they have a good match at SummerSlam. Next, you get Jack's a lot of stuff here, people. Jack Swagger versus Bo Dallas. A quick match between them. Bo Dallas do a few moves here and there, but nothing too special out of this. And you end up getting Jack Swagger, who wins with the ankle lock. The Lana and Rusev come out, talk some shit to Swagger, say that whoever gets their flag, whoever wins the match is going to get their flag raised in the arena. So playing up to the match between them. Nothing too big for this whole segment. I didn't really like the match itself. It was very quick, and you get Bo Dallas at the end on the app, and that they showed it again on TV, saying that it was a fluke and that he didn't tap out and that he was just trying to reach for the ropes. It didn't really come off to the crowd as big or heatful or anything, but it was an okay try. He just needs something more for Bo Dallas. He just can't, lose quickly and stuff like that. You have the time to actually give him a good match that, displays his character and stuff like that. He needs a breakout moment for him to really get some heat for the crowd, and for the crowd to really find him as that, asshole that he really is. So next you get The Miz, who comes out, and this is your final main event match. and he was backstage with Kane earlier in the night, and Kane basically set up a match between him and Roman Reigns. So it's Miz versus Roman Reigns, and the match itself I thought was pretty okay here. Roman Reigns starts the match very dominant. The Miz doesn't want to get hit in the face, so he starts throwing him around and shit. Gets him outside, throws him in barricades. The Miz is trying to outsmart him, but really can't. He finally gets a hold of Roman Reigns and starts working on his leg, hitting into the post, kicking in and stuff like that. Gets him into the figure four. It doesn't really work. Roman Reigns powers out of it. They go at it. Miz kind of couldn't get it, and Roman Reigns starts going off and hitting moves and stuff. Hits his signature moves, the kick, Samoan drop, and everything. And then you get the Miz, who says he's had enough, starts to leave the ring, goes up the ramp, and then Dolph Ziggler comes out. The Miz kind of takes that as, okay, shock or whatever. Goes back to the ring, ends up eating a super punch from Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns throws him back in the ring and spear. I thought the match itself was okay. Roman Reigns looked very strong here, and I thought, the Miz did exactly what he needed to do. I'm not fond of champions losing and stuff like that, but you do need Roman Reigns picking up big wins every now and then. So I thought it was an okay match from the guys. And you get the Miz, who's holding his face at the end. Now, for the final thing on the show, it's going to be a long ass video. It's time for my predictions. Also, people, if you can't get through this whole video, I have these little my little things that I show, these little things that'll tell you where is the next show, or where's the next little thing I'm talking about in the video. So if you can't find that, just go and hit these things. So SummerSlam predictions. As far as the build-up goes, it's been okay. I'll talk more about the build-up on the SummerSlam pay-per-view review, and let's get into it. So as far as the lumberjack match with Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins, I see Dean Ambrose winning this match. I see Dean Ambrose picking up the win here, and they having one more match for the briefcase at the next pay-per-view, which is Night of Champions. I see Dean Ambrose picking up the win here, and Seth Rollins kind of taking it as, you cheated with having all these guys out here. You won a match, let's do another one, and let's put the briefcase on the line. So I see Dean Ambrose pick up the win here. Next you get is AJ Lee versus Paige. Hopefully these girls can have a way better match than they did on Battleground. I see Paige. No, matter of fact, I see AJ Lee retaining the title. I don't think Paige is going to get the title. You have some other ways that you can go here, but I do see AJ Lee retaining, and you probably go one more match with these girls. And hopefully if AJ Lee does retain, that pushes Paige to get even more evil and kind of pushes that anti-diva out of her. So hopefully, that can happen. If Paige does win, hopefully that pushes her as she wants to be the badass, because she now has a title again. So interested to see what happens, but my choice is going to be AJ Lee. Next, you get your match between Jericho and Bray Wyatt. Their match at the Battlegrounds, wasn't too happy about. I thought it was an okay match, but the build-up itself has been okay as well. It's kind of been a disappointment between the back and forth between these two guys. I thought it was going to be a lot more than it was, but it is what it is. I think Bray Wyatt's going to pick up the win here. He has to get a win. He hasn't won in a minute since their match at, what was it, Extreme Rules, where he barely got a cheap win there. So he needs a big win. He hasn't had a good win since Royal Rumble, so he needs a really good win to push himself up and probably push this match on to Night of Champions. So next you get a flag match between Rusev and Swagger. I'm going with Swagger. I think Swagger's going to finally defeat Rusev. I'm not sure what type of flag match this is, whether or not it's going to be flags on poles or whether it's going to be a pinfall. But I think Rusev is going to lose here, and I think Rusev is going to go crazy at the end and beat the shit out of Swagger and leave Swagger in lane. But I think Swagger is going to pick up the win here. So next you get Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz for the IC title. I see The Miz retaining. I don't think they're going to give Ziggler the title here. I wish they would give Ziggler the title. I think he's a better fit for, especially as a face, because I think you got, can play more heels against Ziggler, and Ziggler's the better guy with the title, especially if you're looking at in-ring work. But I think The Miz is going to pick up the win here, and I'm just hoping for they can have a good as match as they had on Raw a few weeks ago. And for one of your final pre-main event matches, you get Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton. I heard a lot of bad about this match and a lot of bad about them going back and forth with each other on live events. Hopefully they can pull out something good here, and hopefully they can have a good match between both of these guys. I'm thinking Roman Reigns is going to win here. I really don't see Randy Orton winning, but let's see. I'm interested to see where it goes from here. And you get your main event. I'm just like, Stephanie McMahon versus Brie Bella. The build-up has actually been okay for this match. I thought it's been, pretty good at spots, but this week, Monday, part of the build-up really did bring it down a lot. Stephanie's been really good here as far as her promos and stuff goes, but Brie hasn't really held her own. I'm interested to see what happens. Stephanie has had a couple babies. Interested to see how that works with her. And she hasn't wrestled in 10 years. Brie is not that really great in the ring, but she has improved. Hopefully it's a case of Stephanie versus Trish and not a case of Stephanie versus some other chicks that she hasn't had good matches with. And hopefully Brie can get her through a good match and, they get some good booking from the girls here. I picked Stephanie to win here. I think the Boss Lady is going to win. And finally, you get the match that had the most build, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. I'm very hyped for this match, and I choose Brock Lesnar to win here. He has to win. It's scary because the way they've been playing it up in the promos and stuff, it looks like Cena may edge out with the victory here, but I'm really, really hoping Brock Lesnar wins. They kind of changed the whole game with Brock Lesnar winning against Taker at WrestleMania, so it's kind of unpredictable. But I do think Brock Lesnar is going to win here. I think that's the best choice to win here, and I think there's the most interesting things to come out. The big win at SummerSlam would get people to renew to the network and stuff like that. So I think the best decision right here is to have Brock Lesnar win. Story-wise, character-wise, company-wise, money-wise, I'm putting my money on Brock Lesnar to win here. So those are my prediction. Those are my reviews. Thank you for watching, people. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit me in the contacts down below. This has been a crazy long review, probably one of my longest I've ever done. A lot of shows. Next week I won't be talking about main events, maybe TNA, but most definitely NXT and SmackDown. So see you next week. Sorry for the long review. Thank you for watching. Peace.